And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City, Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson. Sean, I don't think I can think of a stupider trend that's happening right now on X than this. At Grok, who are the 5 most famous people who visited my X profile? I mean, how did we get this far?
It's awful.
How did we get here?
Terrible. And exposing time also. Like, what if you got someone that's not famous? Then you're exposing yourself for no motion.
There was one list I saw that was like that, and I was like, the 5th person was a random person with like 3,000 followers.
That's tough.
You got nothing going on. You ain't got shit going on, buddy.
Yeah. That also feels like, why does Grok know this? Why was Grok giving this out to people? Obviously, I'm not a person of very much fame, and I wouldn't say you are far ahead of my online famedom. But if it was sitting here pooping out my name when we're talking about the people that are visiting profiles, if that happened, I think I'd have an issue with that. I think that would be something that I feel violated by.
Well, this is the thing that bothers me the most is nobody's reading the response that Grok is giving. It's not telling these people who's actually like secretly visiting their profiles. It's regurgitating the biggest profile that has responded to a comment, like the tweet, something along. Actually, I don't even think it's doing that. It's just who's responded to a comment that's got a big following.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I think that's what it's considering as, viewed my profile. It's appeasing these. It is appeasing people that want to get an answer to this question. It's telling them the information that they want to hear.
I love Twitter so much, and this is why I can never get off of it, and I'll never get off of it. It's a hellscape. It's just vile. It's everything you don't want a social media platform to be. But if you're a lifer like me, you've seen this come and go every year, every 2 years. It's a basic tenet of the program where people have been getting hacked since 2010, trying to figure out this type of information. Everyone's trying to get this question: who's been looking at my profile that I don't know is looking at your profile? That question has never been answered. It's never been accurate. Everyone that's ever signed up for it has ended up getting their account hacked. So that's all that we're seeing. And I love that the people that keep on thinking that they're smarter than the internet and they're smarter than everybody getting their shit hacked. That T-app stuff, I didn't even know people were uploading driver's licenses to it. Now we got, what is it, over 10,000 people, just their licenses are out there, everything, all information.
Well, the effed up part about that one, I was reading this, all that information got put out there because the moron who we were complaining about the other day when we were breaking this down at the beginning of last show, that dumbass put all the information on like a publicly accessible server. So it didn't get hacked. The information was just easily accessed.
He's dumber than his dumb mom that got catfished.
Well, what
a dumb family.
He catfished himself.
They don't need love. They don't need to reproduce. They don't need to continue their subsect of the human race. Too stupid to continue.
All these things are aligned, though, because it's like, well, one, he created a safety app that was supposed to make everything safer for women, and he actually ended up creating the most dangerous thing that's ever happened to women, ever, giving out their driver's license numbers, their sensitive information, like nothing too sensitive, but giving out the information that's on a driver's license is pretty nuts that it's now accessible if you sign up for this app. But the two of them are aligned because of how easily you're duped without checking if there is any potential risk in order to just get that quick little hit of whatever tiny bit of information that you're trying to grab. You're going to do it no matter what. So I wonder what Grok is also mining out of our accounts.
Oh, Grok's got everything.
We're just sitting here going, who's the most famous person who's liked one of my tweets?
And I don't want to call people out Ryan Roberts. I don't want to call people out Jamie
Blake
Williams.
Ruffino.
I don't want to call people out that are doing stuff like this, but it's probably not smart. I don't want to talk to Grok because you know why? In about 5 years, I'm going to be begging Grok for my life at gunpoint somehow. It's just going to take over, and there's going to be threats over my Twitter account or whatever is on there. And I'm going to become powerless to Grok. I'm trying to keep a good relationship. I'm trying to avoid that dude. And other people are trying to get buddy. Good luck. Now he's all up in your business. I guess Grok's not a he. That's a little off.
Is it a they?
I should go it. But you were saying something was he last week, and I think that has stuck with me.
What do you mean?
You were talking about something robotic being a he.
Oh, it was Unkbot.
Oh, Unkbot.
Unkbot.
Yes. Terrific
Grok
Unkbot.
Grok doesn't have the motion that Unkbot has.
I like Spazzybot, the Spazzbot that started
Oh,
falling.
the
on
one
its
I
back
sent you?
and kicking like a crab.
We have to talk about the implementation of some sort of a character like that into the screenplay or not the screenplay, the show that we're writing. I kind of had a random thought with that. I think they could be. Have you seen? Wait, so there's that dumb little. We're going off of tangents, by the way. We're going to get to the NFL training camp stuff in a second. Have you seen very similar looking robot with the stupid hat? The one that was spazzing out that I sent you. There's like I think it's the same exact build that walks around some mall, I think in Texas, and like interacts with people.
Nice.
Have you not seen this?
No.
It's like this incredibly socially awkward robot that's trying to like talk to people and then starts like blaring music
In Texas?
Yeah, I forget where it is.
It's still
I got
moving?
Well, right.
That's
That's a
crazy.
good point.
That's crazy. Maybe we are becoming too tolerant for the robots. By the way, that spaz out motion it was making, bashing the ground, kicking its legs, would kill somebody if it was trapped underneath it. The amount of punching and titanium bashing someone's skull, it's capable of it.
I don't
remember
think
that.
so. I don't
remember
think so.
that.
All right, we got to talk about NFL news today. We are going to dive into a couple of NFL topics, that being Rashawn Slater's new contract that he just got today. Jake Ferguson gets paid. We're going to talk about the tie-in there for Micah Parsons. Going to get to Breece Hall, who spoke on his potential to get an extension. A lot of just extension news stuff. And then lastly, I'm going to get to at the end, if we have time before the hack bag. Miami's in a really serious spot right now with their secondary. They are dealing with a lot of injuries.
It's real bad.
It is a serious, serious problem. So we're going to get to that before, or to start rather. Let's talk about Rashawn Slater, who massive contract that he just got from the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't think anyone would contest that Rashawn Slater doesn't deserve this. Nobody, or does deserve this. I don't think anyone's going to step in and say, Slater, no, he's just not deserving of being the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL. 4 years, $114 million with $92 million guaranteed. I think the biggest part with me, because I don't even want to have the damn debate, the Chargers right now are building what might be the best offensive line in the NFL. Like, they are trending
Really good
towards that. After what they just got out of Joe Alt and how impactful Slater has been for them at left tackle, in the hope that you get a little bit more out of Zion Johnson as they're trying to test him out at center, they have what looks to be one of the most dominant O-lines. And it's kind of crazy to realize, because I don't think enough people give it the love and recognition for it being as dominant as it could be.
It's going to be hard to get that love and recognition. It's great. Alt is a future superstar. He's a future most highest paid offensive lineman ever in the league.
Yeah.
That's what Joe Alt is. And Slater is very, very solid. I thought he was going to take a bigger step after his rookie year. He had a fantastic rookie year. And then second year, I think he got hurt, and he's been trying to build back and find some consistency when he's healthy. He's a very, very good offensive lineman. And the Chargers fans, they're just not going to be happy until they see Quentin Johnston catching some footballs. And unfortunately, seeing a bunch of money go to the offensive lineman, you say, yeah, that's great. Okay, I'm happy that that's done. I like having a good offensive line. It's better than not having one. 1,000 times over, it is better to not be struggling with a bad offensive line. But the story one has been the weapons in Los Angeles this offseason, and it has not been a fruitful conversation for how they've been performing so far. And it's not looking good. And it's really unfair for receivers that are just getting taken out of context in practice with clips, but seem to be a lot of drops coming out of Los Angeles. And I think that concerns Chargers fans more than they can be happy about Rashawn Slater getting extended.
Well, I think that you always – wait, what?
Rashawn, pardon me.
Okay. By the way, can you timestamp me on this? I think that if you ask any NFL fan the coin flip of would you rather have a top 5 offensive line or a top 5 receiver room, assuming that quarterback is, that question is answered.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the Joe Burrow deal where the recurring meme that keeps getting posted where it's like option A, Joe Burrow's on his back throwing to Jamar Chase, or option B, he's throwing to nobody and he's got Penei Sewell blocking for him during that draft when that happened. I think that most would lean towards the O-line because you can at least like manufacture things to an extent if you've got bad options to throw to. I also think that if specific to the Chargers situation, their run game is going to be freaking awesome. Omarion Hampton's a battering ram, and then Najee Harris is also a battering ram. So when you take Hampton off the field, you've got another big, massive body who's going to blast through defenders, assuming he can see this upcoming season. So there is at least now, as this offensive line is rounding out, we haven't even talked about Mekhi Becton, who we're really excited about. It's built for what the identity of what Harbaugh wants to do. So as much as we could talk about, hey, it feels like the receiver room leaves a lot on the bone, I don't think many Chargers fans look at this offense and think we don't have what we need to succeed.
I don't think so either. I think all the bones that the Chargers have are at really good places, and the building blocks are solid and really strong. Football fans, you brought up Najee Harris, and here's the difference between football fans and basketball fans. Like NBA Twitter, they can be brutal and cruel, but they're funny about it. Football fans are still dumb clods when trying to crack jokes at NFL players' expenses. Like the Najee Harris, they're trying to make fun of his injury with his face and the firework and all that. It's been bad. You want to make fun of Najee Harris, do it because I saw this stat. One of only 6 players in the history of the league to have never notched a 40-yard carry on at least 1,097 career attempts.
My support for him this offseason is going to look so bad at the end of the year.
Only from Patrick Doherty, only one of the other players listed after 1986, and none played this century. 4 were fullbacks. So the other 5 players that he shared it with of not having 40 yards, 4 of them were fullbacks, and the other was in 1986.
Well, he's big enough to get converted to fullback. I don't know why you wouldn't consider running a 2 running backs. Like I'd run 22 personnel. If you are uncomfortable with the receiver room,
can you imagine? Oh, you would have to
I formation Najee at fullback, and you've got Omarion Hampton lined up behind him. You've got 2 tight ends on the field, which you've got a pretty good blocking tight end.
But Quinton, a tight end also.
He's not big enough to be doing all that. But you could create so much confusion. This is the wing T team we could be running. We haven't talked about that enough. One of these days, we're going to get a team that's just going to go full wing T.
One thing you're going to get out of this show is you're going to get offensive suggestions that
are only always the wing T or 1960s offense.
But I tell you what, if Los Angeles did that in a couple games, it would be if they playing a team with
it'd be when man, not if man.
When they play a team that has smaller linebackers, if they're supposed to be the small, athletic, jittery linebackers, why not just run it, jam it down their throat 50 times a game? 2 backs, give it 2 tight ends. Who's stopping that? Will it be boring? Yeah. Will it be an absolute medley of clowning on social media? Yes. But I bet Los Angeles wins that football game. I bet they can outstrength other teams. And I think that's a big part of football. If Harbaugh wants to do it, he can do it. And this is a good year to do it.
What's stopping them from running 24 personnel? Do they have enough tight ends for that?
Harbaugh can run too.
Well, we just go. We bring in the 6th O lineman. We bring in the extra O lineman. So he's one of our tight ends, and then we all 3 tight ends on the roster are on the field, and then we go Najee and we go Omarion Hampton behind him. Run the rock.
There's not many defenses that can stop that are going to step up to that side.
Nobody's got the balls to do that.
There's few.
No.
There's few that could do that. Minnesota maybe. Philly maybe. Philly probably could. They got the big horses on the defensive line.
Philly's probably the only team that I think could trot out.
Denver's got a strong defensive line. But I'm telling you, I think the Chargers could really get out. God, I hate when you sell me on crazy ass offenses. I want to see it this year. I want to see the Chargers just take over, run boring ass football, and beat teams. That'd be fun.
They've got the structure for it. Sean, we have to provide an update for the Shemar Stewart situation. We finally have this resolved, and the outcome that happened was pretty unexpected. This did not go at all the way that I thought it was going to. If you've been living under a rock and you haven't been watching the show, I'm assuming if you clicked into this segment, you are a Bengals fan and you know what's happening. But the Bengals and first-round pick Shemar Stewart were at odds over his rookie contract because they wanted to add a piece of language to his contract that allowed for them to void guarantees if he ended up participating in conduct that was detrimental to the team. So if he got arrested, if he got injured doing something on most contracts usually have a list of activities that are not allowed if you're playing
skiing,
skydiving,
waterboarding, all that stuff. Jesus Christ.
Water skiing. Water skiing. I hope you're not getting waterboarding.
No. No. I call
Shemar Stewart's contract voided for participating in waterboarding.
Antiquated torture exercises. That is detrimental to team. And I might take a stand with the Bengals on that.
Well, I don't think you should have to pay him if he's doing all that,
Maybe these guarantees are getting out of hand.
But so this battle happens between the two of them over the fact that Amarius Mims' contract last year, the first round pick for the Bengals, did not have said language in it. So the Bengals camp had a very valid fight that they were putting up. Like, why are we the guinea pig for you trying to change rookie contracts going forward? Like, why is it fair to us? Especially when Shemar hasn't done anything wrong. He's the last guy who needs to have this thrown in there for because he's been such an upstanding young man when he was at Texas A&M. But the problem was, the problem that now comes from this is what I meant to say, is that they came to a resolution. And after all this fighting, all that we got out of this is slight clarification on the language, which has not really come out yet. And all Shemar Stewart gets is $500,000 of his signing bonus up front. Usually you get half your signing bonus at the beginning of the season, half in December for the Bengals. So now he's getting 5.7 and I believe 4.9, or I forget what the number is.
4.7.
4.7 at the end of the year. So, I wrote that down. I'm a dumbass. I wrote that down in the doc. I didn't even realize it. A lot of people are pointing out how ridiculous it is that they put up this gigantic fight over $500,000. That wasn't even what the end goal was, but they caved super easily. This annoys the crap out of me because I put a lot of blame on Shemar Stewart's agent. He had the right intent, but he gave up way too quickly.
He couldn't close. He did not close. And as someone that can't close and knows the feeling of not closing, you take what you can get sometimes. And I guess the signing bonus being moved up is one of those. This is a saga that leaves me unsatisfied. I feel awkward for Shemar Stewart, and we'll be keeping a very close eye on him to see how it works and to see how he operates and what could be in jeopardy for him. And it also reminds me of the Brandon Ayuk contract dispute. Like, remember last year where it was, Ayuk's unsatisfied. He wants the big deal. He's FaceTiming Washington. He's trying to go to Pittsburgh. He's trying to go anywhere. And it was a 4-month saga, and he ended up taking the original deal he was offered, at the beginning of the entire negotiations. Why even go through it? Why make it public if it's going to end up at the same spot?
So that was the big thing that a lot of people brought up, was that you go as far as to put up this fight and then also make public statements,
right?
And then this is all you're going to get out of it.
Like if this had just cracked open and it said Shemar Stewart not with team, and then they announce why at the end of it, why they got the deal done, sure. But the whole public saga, step 1 to step 30 at the end of it, and step 1 looks exactly like step 30. I'm tired of it. It's being over-reported. It is being over-talked about. Not by us, but every step it feels like it's a news story, and it doesn't need to be. And I know it's slow, and I know it's the off season. But I don't know why we do this in the NFL, where every single little minutia of contract or processes need to be so highly evaluated. if we're just going to end up here, it feels like we always do.
Well, I just think that you at least have to have the balls if you're going to be Shemar Stewart and his agent, that if you're going to go through with all this, you need to be willing to put up a lot more of a fight than to just get this little bit of chump change. I would have, if the report was that he got his entire signing bonus up front, I would have been like, oh, yeah, maybe they gave up on the whole contract language thing, but he's getting $10 million, 10.2 up front. Good for him. Oh, no, it's 10.4. God, I'm bad with the numbers today. If you're getting $10.4 million up front at the beginning of the season in order to adjust for this, it's like, yeah, okay, I get that. You compromised in order to get a shitload of money and not have to deal with anything happening, any issues by December. I don't know enough about contracts to know like what could happen in that time span for him to not get that signing bonus. I think it's if he wasn't on the roster, he wouldn't be owed that. So something catastrophic would obviously have to happen. Yeah. But instead, you're only doing this over $500K was all it took to cave. They had all the leverage. There was a legitimate opportunity for him to go back to school, sue the NCAA. They're letting everybody walk past him because they don't want to deal with any BS. If you had gone through that process right now as quickly as possible, he could have been ready to go and playing for Texas A&M. They probably would have been fine practicing in the time being for Texas A&M, and he could have jumped on the field.
Yeah, he would have picked up right where he left off, I'm assuming.
Right.
And then would have been a superstar, would have been a dominant force, and I would have expected him to. It feels sleazy the way that this ended up just for $500K. It feels like, hey, we're gonna get Shemar right in 4 years. We're not worried about it. It's the ownership language where the NFL is trying to make a big pushback on this, and then when this is over, Shemar's not going to be, he's going to be sneezing at that $500K because look at what the other top pass rushers are making. They're making hundreds of millions. That's not how it works, though. The one guarantee about football is there's no certainty and there's no guarantee. And that $500K now, in the perfect hypothetical, would be a blip in the radar. But we know how NFL careers turn out. If he goes bust-a-roo or something happens, then it is pretty impactful, and the guarantees are impactful.
Well, this is going to look a lot stupider and a lot worse if Shemar Stewart ends up sucking. That would be so disappointing if they're like, he's going to be known for the big stink that he put up to get nothing.
And, there's maybe there's a side of it where Shemar Stewart knows about himself, and I doubt it. I doubt that he was going in saying, yeah, I am a raw product. I do need to go out there and prove my worth and put in a couple 10-sack seasons, and then we'll really earn it. Doesn't feel like first-round pick in the NFL is turning down guarantees when everyone else is getting guarantees and is happy about it. I'm very interested to know how he genuinely feels about this deal and how it got done.
There hasn't been a lot of reporting on it, so I'm kind of curious, like in the next couple of days, what comes out if someone does something like really investigative, if maybe a veteran spoke to Shemar and was like, hey, man, I know that this sucks, but like you need to get on the field, man. Like we need you. Like who knows?
Let's get some journalism going in Cincinnati here. Let's
I'd hope so.
Someone dive in. Someone dive right up in here.
All right. Jake Ferguson is a very happy man today after he got a contract extension. It's a little surprising though today seeing that the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, who just last year only had 494 yards and 0 touchdowns, gets a 4-year, $52 million deal. That number, nothing crazy. He's the 7th highest paid tight end. Good for him. He had a great year in 2023 where he had 761 yards and 5 touchdowns. He's not resetting the market. That's not what's weird.
Mm-hmm.
What's weird is that right now we have one of the most publicized contract disputes is all these other guys getting their contracts. The one that's getting talked about the most at this very moment, alongside Trey Hendrickson, is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, who everyone's saying is going to get his deal by the start of the season. Still a distraction.
Yeah.
It's still weighing on the team.
It's out there.
It's very much out there. Yeah, and we talked about the drama from last week of the dumbass points that Jerry Jones made publicly about Micah being banged up, which was also wrong.
Yep.
About the amount of times that he's missed games in this past year for the Cowboys. So I kind of scratch my head and wonder, why was there so much urgency to get Jake Ferguson done, but we're still here talking about Micah?
I don't think there was urgency. I think Jerry's a shit heel, and he's trying to say, wow, look, Jake Ferguson's never come up to me and made a public statement or, he's just a hardworking tight end and we're going to pay our guys that, do it Jerry's way. I think Micah genuinely has been doing it Jerry's way, by the way. From step one to where we are now, I feel like he's been on the Team Jerry train, being a great soldier for Dallas, and they've given him nothing. And Jerry is saying, wow, all right, let's look at quiet, non-headline creating Jake Ferguson, and we're going to get him paid. I think it is another message, and I'm going to continue to think it's a message from Jerry. And it sounds conspiratorial. I'll wear that. But that dude, Jerry Jones, gives us nothing to think that he is not deceitful with every contract that he signs and puts in place, with the way that he talks about his players. Why else would Jake Ferguson get paid right now? Anyone want to step up to the microphone and tell me Jake Ferguson, $52 million just given to him by Jerry? For what? Jake Ferguson is fine, but he's not better than Dalton Schultz. They've had better tight ends in Dallas, and I think their tight end position is pretty weak, actually, with Jake Ferguson. And we're paying him. These are the stupid signings that Dallas makes that crushes them late in the season. It's a Jake Ferguson drop. It's a Jake Ferguson fumble. Not saying it. That's a guarantee, but it's not right. It doesn't. It reeks in Denmark, Joe.
You mean Dallas?
Dallas, yes. Also
Denmark.
Yeah, I should have done Dallas if I was smart and I had a wordsmithing way about me. I could have flipped it. Yeah, well, sure.
Where does Denmark come from?
Something's rotten in Denmark.
Oh, is
that phrase?
I didn't know that was a phrase. I'm learning things today. I'm not kind of on I'm not going to go all the way with you on he doesn't deserve the money is kind of how you were framing it. I think that he does. I mean, you're starting tight end. If he gets back to that 700-yard total, he's a top 7 tight end in the league. Like, he's getting paid, and he's going to be really far down that list in short time because other guys are going to start getting paid soon, especially Kyle Pitts. He's going to get paid very, very soon.
I'm not trying to make this a rundown Jake Ferguson type deal.
Yeah, I don't think it should be. It's more so the timing is ridiculous of like, hey, you knocked this one out of the way when the main one, and they're also not short on money. Their cap space, I don't think, is also like difficult to the point where they're not going to be able to fit in Micah. But where I'm perplexed is like, how the hell is Micah's deal not done at the beginning, and then you get to Jake Ferguson?
I'll say this. I think Micah would be a better NFL tight end than Jake Ferguson.
Probably,
I think if they put Micah on the offense, he would be a fantastic tight end. Put him both ways.
Ferguson is pretty mediocre. I've never really understood any love for Ferguson.
I didn't want to jump on you for the top 10, or I think he's maybe like the 15th or 16th best tight end.
But like if he gets back to 750 yards and 5 touchdowns, statistically, he would be a top.
That would be great value
tight end in the NFL.
It would be great usage for him, and if he comes up big, he comes up big.
Schoppenheimer's going to give him the rock, man.
I hate talking about the Cowboys because I always forget about that doofus head coach. And then whenever you bring up Schoppenheimer, it's worse than I think it is. There's no way they come out firing in week 1. And then there's no way the first 3 weeks it looks like the brand new Dallas Cowboys, right? It's going to look like a muddled mess. It has to. What the hell? I love Dallas. And I think everyone should be talking about Dallas. And I think NFL media should keep the spotlight on them and the flashlight and make them the big heel, make them the big story because they want it. Doing stuff like this makes it apparent that they want the noise.
And I also like Dallas now that I found out that CD's first name is Sedarian DeLeone.
You didn't know that?
Lamb. No.
Yeah.
No. You knew that?
Yeah. I think I just saw his full name on Twitter like a couple weeks ago.
Sedarian DeLeone Lamb. What?
It's a great name.
Like how I've the problem is I can't show outward support for anyone on the Cowboys, but he might now be my favorite player in the NFL now that I found this out.
I think I could show outward support for the big fellas up front. I like Trey Smith Tyler Smith. I like Tyler Guyton.
How are you going to mess up knowing the whole line
the
is
stupidest man
three
alive.
Tylers?
That's how. Yeah. I like the team Tyler in Big D.
All right, let's jump ahead. I want to skip the Breece Hall stuff before we get to the hack bag. I want to talk about this Dolphins defensive back room. The Miami Dolphins, we've talked about during this offseason being in some serious hell, like real problems for what they've got going with their corner room. They might have had going into the year the worst corner room, and right now they absolutely do. Artie Burns went down with a season-ending knee injury. Gone. Dunzo. Out.
That's awful.
Veteran guy who could have been, decent starting corner for them. I think he was projected to start in the slot for them, which is fine. And I already was like looking at this and talking about it and saying, yeah, they gotta figure this out because there are not a lot of options. Storm Duck is projected to start on the outside for you, which is where the problems start. But Kader Kohu, who was supposed to be the starting nickelback, went down with an injury in a rep going up against Tyreek Hill in a one-on-one drill. I don't know much about Kader Kohu. The fact that he was the next available nickel for your team is already a little bit of an issue. There's no immediate understanding of the severity of the injury. So he could be back in some time. But they're just going around signing anyone that they can find. They brought in Mike Hilton. They also brought in, I think it was Jack Jones was the other guy that they signed recently. They also did draft Jason Marshall Jr., who's a decent player out of Florida, who I liked as a prospect. But the rest of the options that they have available to them, atrocious. Cam Smith, Ethan Bonner are the listed players of depth on this team at corner. I really do wonder, does Minka end up starting? He's listed at free safety, but does he end up starting in the slot? Because
Probably.
you're just
At some point, I think
in a blender.
He's going to play multiple positions in the defensive backfield this year. And this is awful for Miami. And this is like, I've been dueling in my office about, because we were talking about the AFC East this week. And I think the Dolphins, this previous week, I projected them to come fourth in the AFC East. I think they get rolled over by the Jets. I think they rolled over by the Patriots. It's more of a certainty now than it was pre these injuries in training camp. It's awful to see guys go down in training camp. I know that it's been some big ones already this year. Treylon Burks collarbone. That's awful for Tennessee. You got some back tightness with Stafford in LA. Stop going airborne in training camp. Stop doing the crazy stuff. You're not on TV yet. You just do your practice, in and out. Practice. Trying to make a moment in front of the fans. I think it gets guys hurt. Miami is going to be in a bad spot this year, and everyone's just going to be able to throw on them. They'll be able to run on them and throw on them, and they don't have an offense that's good enough. Did you see what Tua said about Tyreek Hill last week? I think no. Yanni Caracas down there, Miami Dolphins.
Why are you saying that like we're friends with him?
I think I met Yanni a couple times, but he
had to give a fuck about that guy.
Yanni got a good clip. He got a good snippet of Tua. You running down Yanni? I don't know him. I'm fine with Yanni. Come on.
Now we applied internships at those news. Well, I did. I applied to internships at all those news stations. Didn't get a response from any of them. Reached out to them. Didn't get a response from any of them. All the kids who got those internships aren't doing shit right now. We got dudes who are audio editors at ESPN that they gave those internships to.
What about our guy that just got hired at Barstool? Didn't he do a internship at the news?
No. You're talking about
Colin Fox?
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Oh, I thought
no, because he wasn't an on-camera guy. He worked with the football team doing our socials and was the
I thought he might
video
have interned with the camera once. I know.
No.
Off on that then. Yeah, you're not wrong that the internships they're not resulted to a bunch, I guess. Kevin Moore's doing okay. Tua was talking about Tyreek Hill and Tyreek Hill's comments after Week 18 last season about Tyreek Hill. I'm out of here. Very disgruntled post-game press conference. He was emotional, I think, with how bad Miami was. And Tua Tagovailoa talks about, it's, he's going to have to earn back some of the trust and respect of the team. You can't just say that and think you can pick it up on the next. You sure as shit he can. Tyreek Hill definitely can say that. He doesn't need to apologize for being upset with his bad team. He's had many things. Tyreek Hill has had many things that he has needed to apologize for. Comments, off-field stuff. If you want an apology from him, there are things that you could call on him to do so. But disgruntlement with the Miami Dolphins and how the team is built and the future with the team, he owes no apology for what he's been given in Miami. Year one, he comes in and breaks records. Insane 1,800 yards, tons of touchdowns, lighting the league up. He promises on his end, next 2 years, worse and worse. So I don't think he owes dick to Miami, and they continue to get worse. It's going to be a real bad team this year. Arch in Miami 2026.
No, he's Arch isn't going to.
I know. And everyone keeps taking that bait. Also, everyone thinks, oh, it's a tankathon for Arch here.
Yeah. To get back to the Dolphins, though, I think like the biggest thing that frustrates me with this is that their lack of awareness and planning on how to handle their defensive backfield. The move that they made for Minka was fine, and we kind of talk about how they get the benefit out of that situation because you're bringing in a younger DB and you're sending Jalen Ramsey off, but you are not finding a replacement at corner for the current immediate season that you need to be ready for. Where things ultimately got like super off the rails was that they didn't spend the money in free agency to get any mid-level names at corner. And then their draft class, I forget what they traded to trade up and go and draft Jonas Savanea, who I like, good player, good guard from Arizona. They needed to retain as much draft capital this year. And if anything, I think they should have made more efforts to acquire more capital in a year where there was a pretty good amount of corner depth. Like there were some decent names on day 2. The first corner that they drafted was Jason Marshall, who I referenced there, who was their 5th round pick at pick 150. And I don't know if he's even ever really going to be like a premier starting guy for them, but he's probably going to be starting for them at some point this year because, again, they lack depth, they lack talent, they lack impact.
Yeah.
For the fact that they drafted Kenneth Grant and then their third draft selection was in the 5th round, and they drafted Jordan Phillips as well, and they also drafted Zeke Biggers, who is the defensive tackle out of Georgia, who's enormous. They drafted all these big bodies.
Well, their defensive line needed help also. Their D-line was atrocious pre-draft, I guess.
This much?
They had no defense last year, and they have even less of one this year.
God, it's so much worse.
I'll fix it for you, Miami. All right, here. Let me give you the deal that'll fix it for you. All right? Jalen Waddle for Mike Hughes right now. We'll get it done. Just send Mike Hughes to Miami, and Atlanta will take Jalen Waddle. Just come on, work with me. Because my idiot GM ain't picking up the phone. I got to start doing it.
Yeah, no one's taking that trade. No one wants Mike Hughes.
I know. I don't want Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes doesn't want Mike Hughes. Wants Mike Hughes.
No, I know, but come on. They need a defensive back. I'm not giving them AJ. I couldn't do it. But, I mean, Waddle and Tyreek are their two most, I'd say, valuable assets to trade for, and you're not getting rid of those guys.
Well, and this is probably something that won't be received well. Something that they should have considered doing if they really wanted to like balance out the roster, they should have considered trading Tyreek this offseason because you don't know what he's going to do this year as he's starting to come towards the end of his career. A guy who's lived off of explosiveness. At one point, when does that start to fade? That's tricky. When does he start to get banged up? Because he's been extremely healthy throughout his career. And I don't know. I think that eventually something's going to catch up to him. Trading him at his age at the current moment, if you could have gotten multiple picks for the upcoming draft, if you traded him before the 2025 draft, the roster would be a lot more balanced. Yeah. And at least it would be young, and you could have the excuse of, hey, we're going through some things. We got all these young players. We're just trying to figure some things out. But instead, we've got this duct-taped roster that we're going to be watching trot out there.
It would also work better as a more cohesive team and offense. I know that when Miami really gets rolling and their offense, like it's important to note that when the offense really is firing on all cylinders, it can be dangerous. And I've seen it. It is the deep crossing routes, the way that they manipulate the safeties with their speed. Like when it's all working, it's great, but it doesn't work enough for that juice to be, it's not worth the squeeze for how little they get that really rolling offense going, because it's an offense that strives on momentum, because Tua's not going to make the big throw that ignites the offense. So maybe it should have become, they should have gotten rid of Tyreek. You're right. You're 1000% right. Get rid of Tyreek.
And he publicly was stating that he wanted to leave. It's like, okay, just very quickly turn that. Maybe at the point of that is you don't really have the leverage to make a deal where he's outwardly going like, get me out of here. Like he didn't say it that directly, but he made it kind of clear that people were going, hey, is this actually real, or is he just kind of drawing attention to himself because he kind of likes attention.
There's also guys that don't know like how to handle a disgruntled athlete. I'll say it. We had guys on our team that quit the team every week, and they were
guys
still
getting on trains and going home.
Still on the team next
and then
Saturday.
somehow back of practice the next day, even though we thought they went home to New Jersey.
Yeah, and they're back, and you're like, oh wow, okay, well, that's just
who paid for the train back. You think?
I don't know. The night train, I don't know. It could have been a situation where said player just got on the train and would not be deterred from getting on the train until he got back to New Jersey. I don't know if a ticket necessarily was bought.
Guys on our
guys
on our team would have been great at holding out.
I swear, you fans, you guys wouldn't even know what to do.
Rhode Island,
if you saw the Rhode Island
doing that shit.
Oh, imagine giving that.
Nico didn't have the balls to get on a train. Nico's got his dad swinging the hammer around.
He's on a cross-country train back to L.A. Checking
out a real statement.
He got freaking Shannon Terry trying to find him. He's not even in Nebraska yet. It's all. I love that.
That would be a real way to win. Well, this goes in line with what I pitched you after I made that really dumb Seinfeld joke the other day, where you had said guys.
Players in cars going to Florida.
No, players in cars leaving training camp was what you said, and I responded back, what Jerry Seinfeld show is that? And then my pitch to you is that if the show goes as well, our careers go as well as we think that they can, that would be awesome. Is if we like found disgruntled players who are at training camp or like leaving training camp, and we call up their agent and be like, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars just to do this 20-minute interview with us, and we're going to drive them around the practice facility in a car. So maybe what we should do is we should get them on the nearest train.
You pick them up.
Bring them on the train, and we'll interview them on the train. I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting on this train. We're going back home.
You get them. You pick them up at the team facility. They get in your car. You drive them to the nearest train station. And however far away they are from the train station, that's how long the interview is.
Yeah.
So if we're going for, we're
we
picking
don't
them
tell
up
them where the train's taking them. By the way,
you are on
train.
Train
might be going to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
It might be going to Portland. It could be going to Portland, Maine, or Oregon. Who knows?
This is your last window to get in touch with this player before he gets on this train.
We're just sending him somewhere, and then you got to find him. Oh, God.
The train guys got him. We got to get going.
It's ultimately really problematic because basically what we could be doing is like, we're going to fucking hide him. We're going to send him to a really obscure location, and not only is he not going to be visible, he's going to be hidden. We're sending him to a random small town across the U.S.
Could you
off on a random stop?
I would love to start getting Schefter reports about he's got on the train. He's on the train. Yes, it is confirmed from the Hack City crew. Justin Fields did get on the train.
All I'm thinking about is like how great of an NFL agent I could be if it's like, like contract dispute is happening with like Steven Johnson. This is 20 years from now, like some random big name defensive. Like Steven Johnson's in a holdout, and then there's kind of like a 24-hour pause where everyone's like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. And then someone realizes, oh, fuck, he's represented by Joe DeLeone. Oh, no. Get to the train station.
He could be anywhere.
He could be anywhere. Find him. It's a lot more of a freak out because it's like, oh, great. It's just the recurring offseason bit. It's like, fuck, someone needs to get this done before he gets on the train.
It brings me back to that crazy-ass Clippers negotiation where they, like, locked the door in the house and nobody was getting let in.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. You know what?
It's the opposite.
The Hack City management group, we are abducting your players, and you're not getting to them. I'm sorry. Doors locked. They're two row behind the Bev cart. That's what they're doing.
The funniest part about this is there's nothing. It's also not good for the player because, like, I just got to sit on a train until this gets figured out.
That's right, you do. Hang out. Have a good time. That's what you do. Enjoy some train talk. Listen to some people's conversations. Have a complete break. It's almost like the PG Darkness retreat where you're just sitting on a night train for 12 hours and you just have to kind of think about what you want. It's good for the player. It's good for us because we like getting on the train. And then everyone's having a good time. We can field calls. I like this idea, man. Abduct more players in pre-negotiation.
They'll be taking the midnight train going anywhere. All right, let's go to the Hackbag 201-834-4308. We're going to get to the controller bet in a quick second, but this is the Hackbag.
The mail never stops.
This is the Hack Bag. Hit us on Twitter for questions or call at 201-834-4308.
All right, we have an update on the controller situation. So for anyone who nice.
Pardon me.
For anyone who is not knowing what I'm talking about here, I have a proclivity to break Xbox remotes when I play NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
I bought one right before the game came out, and I bought a really cheap one, and I bought a warranty on the remote so that if I break it, I'd be able to get a new one. I was playing on Friday night, and I'm doing the new Road to Glory. Put on a low difficulty because I just want to play running back. I want to run past everyone. I just want to get a bunch of big touchdowns. First freshman year, that was happening. I was at JMU, was just running past everybody. I was averaging 200 yards a game. Transfer to Kansas State. No one's blocking for me. Get to the ball, get to the line of scrimmage, get tackled. Line of scrimmage, get tackled. Line of scrimmage, get tackled. And as this is happening too, and I'm getting more pissed off game by game, averaging like 3 yards a carry, lucky to break off one long run. They also changed the wear and tear mechanism in the game. So my guy's getting hit so much that he's decaying. He's literally decaying. His career wear and tear
Keep him up
is
right.
in the red. I can't. I touch the ball and I'm getting tackled and I'm getting like fucking smoked. This is what made me so mad is the difficulty is low and I'm just getting walloped. I'm getting it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I got tackled, blah, blah. I'm getting mad because the game is punishing me and my player is literally dying before my eyes because the career wear and tear is like in the red.
Nice.
2 years into his career, it's at the very bottom quarter of his career wear and tear because of this stupid fucking game and that they didn't fix the blocking in it. So eventually, after 4 games of this, averaging 3 yards a carry, I slammed my remote into the ground and I broke it. I can't use the warranty. The warranty is unusable.
Can we see the remote?
No, I am not because it is embarrassing.
Let's see the remote. We have to see the remote. We saw the last one. We have to see the remote as confirmation for my bet.
No.
I have to get confirmed breakage of the remote to confirm my bet. I'm sorry to have to do this. You're an animal and you have to pay for your consequences sometimes. Well, I had a bet with, I guess I'll fill this in. Holy hell. What is this?
It's in literal pieces. I don't know where the buttons are. Yeah. So who won the bet? Who won the bet?
I won the bet. Scott, you owe me a Philly burrito. Scott,
What's
I won
a
the bet.
Philly burrito, by the way?
I just something he wanted to bet me. His statement, I'll bet you a Philly burrito that Joe does not break his controller in the first month he plays college football 26. That was Scott's bet.
Me?
Of course.
2 weeks.
Of course I betted against this freak, and I knew he'd break his controller.
All right, put that down. I don't need everybody seeing all my...
This is nuts. This is like Hannibal Lecter putting on the face in front of it.
That's not even the worst piece. That's the most fucked up. Like that's probably the most intact piece. I tried putting it back together to see if I could kind of fake.
Oh, you don't want evidence out here before you go and you
no,
try
I
to
need
get
to
your
go.
warranty.
Yeah, but there's no way. I don't know where I don't know where the buttons went. I don't.
Are you
They're
like
somewhere in my room? They're scattered.
Are you like crisscross applesauce with wood glue trying to put it together?
No, I was just kind of mashing all the pieces back together. The thing is I didn't even throw. Actually, I kind of did throw this one hard, but it was so cheap that it broke a lot easier than the normal ones. Normally, when I really throw the other ones, like they would last like 4 or 5 throwings. This was the first one, and it exploded on impact.
Now, how many times did you throw this? That when you were breaking it, how many times did you? Because I think I have a count. Because I think I heard the smashing, but I couldn't confirm if it was you or noisy upstairs neighbors. I heard roughly 10 slams.
No comment.
I heard
there were not 10. There were not 10.
You know what I actually heard?
There were less than 10.
I'm going to fill you in on this. I heard a slam that went across the room. He picked it up and slammed it back across the room the other way. He was playing
that
tennis.
closely.
It was loud. It was loud. You were slamming this
I'm
joker.
waiting until I get someone in the building reports me. I don't know who lives below us, but they're in a damn blender.
Oh, no, I think you're good. I don't think anybody lives below us.
I think somebody does.
No, we're right above the bathrooms by the elevator. We are I think right below us is the bathrooms.
By the gym?
No, by the other side of the pool.
There's bathrooms by the pool?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what I was saying. When I
that's good to know.
If Shorty wanted to use the bathroom down there's one right
I
around the
forgot
elevator
that you
corner.
did this.
She just used my restroom and it was fine. And it was an
Oh yeah,
by the way.
by the way, I forgot to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Did you tell her
No.
what I said? You fucking suck.
What?
Remember when you said last show, I said, can you please say what you claimed you would say to this girl that you said, what, can you repeat what you said?
What if you want to use the restroom, you could take my key and go use the one by the gym or the pool?
Yes.
Or there's one on the roof? Yeah.
Yes. And you didn't do that because you're a coward.
I am. Yes, that is true. I cowered.
Because you realized how wrong that was to offer to a female guest that you were offering to come hang out with you.
If she had asked, if there are any other restrooms, then I would have offered that up. But given how the evening was transpiring, it didn't feel like there was going to be a need to send her out of the apartment to go use one of those restrooms.
All right. Well, do we have any voicemails?
Yes, we do have some voicemails. You want the as always. You want the gross one or the non-gross one?
Let's get a non-gross one first.
Oh,
we just spent some time being gross.
Works for me.
Hey fellas, great show. This is Brad, Buffalo fan.
What's up, Brad?
And I'm really calling. I'm calling for, I guess, your advice or your insight here, because as a Buffalo fan, I'm starting to feel like that turtle that Sean described, putting in his water-filled fish tank.
The one that he waterboarded?
During the regular season as a Buffalo fan, because I know that the Chiefs are coming in the postseason, and I just want your advice or your opinion about whether there's any reason to have hope as a Bills fan other than to enjoy the regular season. Because what's going to happen this year. It happens every year. Growing up, it was watching the Bills lose the Super Bowl every year, and now it's become watching them lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs every year. So anyway, guys, sorry that was a bit muddled, but love the show.
No, it was very on point.
Have a great day. Bye.
I don't think that was muddled at all. I think that it's a very legitimate concern. I think that the Bills, just like from a broad arching, like you could not be in a better situation as a Bills fan.
Yeah.
You couldn't.
Best it's been.
You have an MVP on your roster. I know that, at one point you had Jim Kelly. I don't know how old this listener is. I don't know if you got to see Jim Kelly play. Those were frustrating. That was a very frustrating period of time. The ceiling with Josh Allen, I think, is a lot higher because he's a top 3 player in the NFL. He's extremely physically gifted. What he was able to do last year with a decent roster, but a roster that didn't belong in the AFC Championship game. What he was able to do last year is proof that as they start to draft more and more good starters, they're going to get there eventually. It sucks that you got to go toe to toe with freaking Patrick Mahomes every single time, but it's going to crack eventually.
Yeah.
Think about, like, I don't mean to cut you off before you start, but like think about the Brady versus Peyton Manning battle that happened every single year. And I know that Peyton only broke through only a couple of times, but at a certain point, you're going to break through.
Yeah, it's very tough. There were some good teams in the East that got bounced because of LeBron, and those fans probably felt pretty disenfranchised because they just couldn't get past it. I get that feeling. I'm someone that thought that the Buffalo Bills window was closed 2 years ago, and now it's as open as it's ever been, and I have more confidence in the team than I thought I would. But this is a true fandom conundrum where how do you operate when you have a good team and you know that you're going to be in the playoffs and you have that pit of darkness sitting in your chest all season, knowing that eventually the pressure is really going to be on and you're going to have to win a big time football game. You're going to have to make a big play. And can your team do it? It sits in all football fans that like teams that will be in the postseason. It's nagging. So my advice for the regular season, just enjoy it as much as you can. Find more players that you can learn to root for on your team. Become a true fan. Find a favorite player. You got plenty of them in Buffalo. You got a fun offensive line, good personalities. James Cook's a good back.
Sicko of a coach.
Yeah, you got a sicko of a coach. Also, you're getting Hard Knocks this year. So if you are a fan, then you get even more access. If that spooks you a little bit to think that, all right, we're on Hard Knocks and now everyone's going to be looking at us, I understand that also. Some teams can't handle the spotlight. I think Buffalo has learned how to live in it more. So it's about as optimistic. Just be as optimistic as you can be. But I know that pit in your stomach that is going to be sitting with you all season. It's an uncomfortable one.
Well, I just think you just can't be defeatist about it. Like, you can't come in every single year going, man, are we just supposed to be excited about the regular season? You break through eventually. And here's the thing. You have the advantage of, if you keep falling short, you can easily fire McDermott, and it is going to be the most desirable job.
Yep. You get
in
anyone.
the NFL. Anyone. You don't know who's going to be open and available at the current time. Actually, now that I'm saying this, I'm kind of like, then it turns into like LeBron syndrome, where it's just like plug and fire, plug and fire, plug and fire. But I don't think Josh Allen's like LeBron.
I don't think he's a coach killer. You stay with him.
I don't think he's a control freak either, like LeBron is.
Yeah, I think that you're in a good
Football's
spot.
also different.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're in a great spot. You have a good team. It feels like it's actually a team, and it doesn't feel like. I know that Cincinnati went to a Super Bowl before you did with your current franchise quarterbacks, but like the trajectory and promise that each team shows is vastly different. Like Buffalo's got a really good team with a really good quarterback. Cincinnati's got a really good quarterback, 2 really good wide receivers, and a bad team. So what would you rather be at?
Right.
And I think I'd rather be on Buffalo, because I know that even if my guy isn't a better Mahomes killer than Joe Burrow is, we have a better shot at putting together a full 60 minutes that could beat them than a miracle from Cincinnati against them.
Right.
And Cincinnati might not even be in the playoffs. You guys are Buffalo's a lock to win the AFC East and will be for the next 10 years.
All right. Next question.
Yep.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Oh, it's Rack.
But anyways, I'm sure you guys missed me.
Wait, what did he say?
Said
I'm
not
sure you
Rack.
have. Look at those little shit-eating grins on your faces when I call in. So,
It's Rack.
anyways, I was just checking on the sideburns, aka thigh ticklers, see how they're going. If that impressed Joe's girlfriend's mom. So, if none of that works out, if Sean can't get any more ice cream dates or anything, I got a dating suggestion for the two of you.
Okay.
And that is to date yourself some homeless girls. Now you're going to think that's weird, but here's the thing about homeless girls is when you're done, you drop them off anywhere and they don't care. Have a good one, guys.
Disgusting.
What the fuck?
Disgusting.
I don't even know what to say to
A
that.
disgusting suggestion.
There's a lot of homeless women in New York City. So there's that. Would you do this?
No, I don't think I would, because I am on the brink of homelessness. So I know. So I need to make sure that I'm not bringing in anybody. I'm looking for someone that can save me. Give me someone that that can buy me a watch. That's what I'm looking for. The homeless girl, I don't think is giving me less issues than she would be, aiding with.
You're not on the brink of homelessness.
Right there. Right on that line. It's
the
a
way you
dire
were
line.
talking yesterday,
Keep
didn't
calling
sound
in.
like...
Keep calling in. 201-834-4308. Keep me housed, please.
Yeah, please keep calling. These calls have been fun. They've been a blast. We'll be back on Tuesday. We're getting ready for Sean to disappear for vacation soon. We are going to start ripping off college coverage that is going to be coming this week or the following week. But stay tuned for that. 201-834-4308. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. We will talk to you later.